Well, it is time to continue on the rust repair on the 79 Matilda RX7. In the last video, went through and took all the sound deadening off the floor, uncovered some more rust holes. In this video, we will get ready to start actually fixing some of those problems. So to do this though, the car needs to come up in the air. So the first thing we'll be doing is putting the car up in the air, taking the wheels off, and then we'll go ahead and take the axle and the gas tank out of the car. Once that's done, we'll start cleaning up all the areas where the rust is. This video will probably not be a super long video, and I won't go into a ton of detail on how to take the axle out either, because I have a video specifically for an axle swap that I did on the 85 13B swapped RX7. And maybe I'll show a little bit on the gas tank, but the gas tank's fairly simple. So I guess with that being said, let's go ahead and start by putting this car up in the air. It is finally out. It really fought me a good bit there. I had to get it out all by myself, which I would not suggest doing. That is very heavy, and you kind of have to pull from a lot of points. All the rubber on these control arms has expanded and swollen, and it was all stuck. So I had to do a lot of shaking. The safety flip-flops still got all the toes. They did their job. So, I guess now I'll show you up under here. So, gas tank is out and the axle's out. So look at all that space. I am going to take the exhaust out, but that's not really a point of the video. That'll just be probably whenever I go to do the rust repair on that side. So in the next video, what I'll be doing is going through and going with a wire wheel and chipping off as much of this rust as I can to get down to where the clean metal is, kind of all throughout here, and anywhere like just up in the fender well where it's just surface rust, like kind of like that, I'm gonna hit with some rust converter paint. But I think that is it for this video. Sorry these Matilda videos aren't the most interesting, I know, but putting it out here in case anybody wants it. So that will be going in the trash. I know some of you will probably be like, oh no, save it, it's an SA axle. It's trash. If you want one, I know a guy who has one that's in perfect condition, and I can tell you who it is and they'll give it to you. This one though is going in the trash. It has a bad bearing in it. You can see how rusty it is, and it's an SA axle. They're only good for these. And who wants to put one back in these anyways? So it's going in the trash. So thank you all for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Well, everyone, it is time to actually start getting down and dirty with this rust. So in this video, I'm going to be going through and actually taking a wire wheel and maybe even a cutoff wheel to all of this rust in preparation to actually start patching the holes. Depending on how long this is taking, I might actually just go ahead and do all of the welding in this video as well. That way I can just kind of show you like a few specific areas that I'm going to do, because there's a lot of areas and I know it'll get boring if I show it all. So I'll probably focus on one of these dog legs and then one of the places inside. That way you can see what all is involved. Everywhere else I'll just do off camera. So today at least, it'll be more than one day for this video. I'll go ahead and at least clean up what's in this wheel well, and I will set up a time lapse that y'all can watch what I do to get this metal all cleaned up. Okay, so I don't entirely know where I left off last time, but I know I've done more work. So I think where I left off was actually cleaning the other side of the metal there, but I went through and kind of cleaned up a little in here. I actually went out and figured out where I want to cut, but we'll get back to that in a second. But I also started cleaning all along here. I still need to get up there. Now over here, there was just a lot of surface rust, so I went on it with an abrasive wheel, cleaned it all up, and have done 2 coats of rust converter. Once that's fully dry, I will actually go through and I will put a layer of just regular double thick Rust-Oleum paint on top of that, just so the carpet and insulation doesn't rub it all off. So that brings us back to over here. So this is the first like real cut I'm going to be making. So as you can see, I've drawn a line all up here. I accidentally drew a little low right there, all the way around. So as you can see, it's also pretty bad right here along the seatbelt mount. Not entirely sure. I'll probably just have to weld over that to attach it, because there's actually like 3 or 4 layers of metal right there. So here, I'm gonna cut here and just go along to about here, okay? So as you can see, there's actually metal stacked on top of metal. So I want to leave that metal still fairly solid under there, but then I'll catch right back up to here and cut all along there and cut right to there and back over to here, and then I'll probably have to do a little up and down right there. This is the actual floor. That's the rocker panel. So I want to leave as much of the rocker panel that I can, and really more just repair this floor panel, so that way I can keep it as strong as possible. So that does mean once I get this up, I will do my best to clean it up, and I'll do a lot of converter inside of there before I actually make the patch panels. Then I'll probably clean here and just maybe do a quick zip, and then weld a solid piece across the top of that. So with that being said, I will go through and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out. It's gonna take me a little while to do it, and I just got this GoPro and I really don't want to ruin it yet. And it's just cutting out on some lines. It'll be much more interesting when I'm actually building the patch panel. Okay, so I went ahead, I cut it out. I did accidentally go a little far there, but I think it'll be okay. I'll be able to just kind of and patch that up. So now you can see kind of better how it's multiple pieces of metal, and there was a lot of just like rust built up here. I went through with a vacuum cleaner and I stuck the vacuum way up in there and all around. I did go ahead and I just cut, and I'll probably just make a rectangle just for it here that'll go over and be specifically for this. because this right here is really not all that structural. This piece is, but this is so thin and so flimsy. I mean, I'm gonna probably make a rectangle here, and I'll spot weld it all along, and then I'll make another piece to go around here and attach it all together like that. And then that's basically what I'll do for all of that. I may end up patching that hole because it'll be a lot harder for me to make. So you see how that looks right there? That's what it's supposed to look like, and it's just kind of, well, it's like that but smaller. It's supposed to look like that, but it is way far gone. I may end up just totally patching it up. But next thing I'm gonna do is go over this with the grinder and a wire wheel again to just clean it all up. And then I'm going to spray all in here with a rust converter, and that'll have to dry, and that'll probably be it for today. And then maybe I'll be able to come back tomorrow and work on it small, but it'll all be the same video for you. I do real quick want to show you one other thing. I found another place of rust, and I did go through and I started cleaning it. Sorry it's so dark, but right here it is rusted through and all along there, so I'll have to patch that up. And then right here kind of behind the steering box, but it looks like where it actually mounts is still solid, so I'll probably just plate that. But I guess I will get back to y'all when I am actually ready to start making those panels. Okay, so I'm going to give you all a quick walkthrough of what I did for the first piece here. So I took this piece of cardboard and I measured it all up and I cut it out. So that's what will go right here. So once I had this piece of cardboard, you know, I'm using CAD, Cardboard A Design, I cut it out in a piece of flat stock. So you may be wondering why I have these holes drilled. That's because I'm not going to be just like seam welding. These panels I'll be placing on top, and I will be welding in each of these holes. That way I can just get a few good points on it. So I went through already and I started to mock it all up. So I know the top doesn't fit very well right now, but the bottom does. And what I'll do is I will weld in the bottom first, and then I will take the hammer and I'll kind of hit it in a little bit better because I can't get the bend just right. I don't have the best tools for this here, but I'll start with the bottom and then I will kind of mold the top in, and then we'll get to the rest of it. So I'm not going to film me welding. That's really bad for the cameras. And you know, this is a small channel. I can't afford to just be replacing cameras. So I will get this first piece welded in, and then I'll get back to you when it is done. Okay, so I got that first little bit welded in. I did end up kind of seam welding it along the bottom and in the side here, but I did do the spot welds across the top. So basically I welded the bottom first, and anytime I got to like a bump that was really hard to make off the bench, I got myself this punch, like this chisel punch right here, and I would put it onto the seam, and then I would hit it with the hammer to make it go along all of the bends. Now I know you can see that there's a little bit of an air gap right there. That's fine. I'm going to be putting seam sealer. It's plenty strong. Actually, it's probably stronger at the top than it is at the bottom because I got it hotter doing a seam weld. So I will go ahead and I will make the rest of this. I'll clean it all up, and then I will get back to y'all to show you the finished product. All of this will be done the same exact way that I did that. Taking my cardboard, then making the metal piece, and then welding it in. I'll probably do this next, then that, then I'll clean it up, and I will paint it. And I will show you that. Actually, I'll probably show you it before I paint it, and then the finished product. Well, y'all, the hole is patched up. It does go over that. It'll be a little hard putting that plug back in, but the rust was into it, so, or the cut was into it, so I didn't have much of a choice. I'll be able to figure that out. I forgot to take a video before I put the paint on, but as you can see, it's 3 different panels all spot welded together. I will go through, I'm going to do this off camera, and I'm actually going to put some seam sealer along all of the edges, just to make sure no water can get in. I know it's not super pretty, but you know what? It's under the carpet, so it doesn't have to be. It just needs to work. So, hopefully y'all enjoyed that. So I have quite a few more holes to do, as y'all can see, but it'll get very repetitive, so I'll leave it with this one. I'll do all the rest, and then in a future video I will show you all of the holes patched up, because there's more to do than just patching on the car. I have new springs. I'll do a little bit to the suspension. Got to put the other axle in, because you know that one, I should have thrown it away already, but I don't have a truck. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Maybe it was helpful if you need to do a little bit of rust repair yourself. It can give you some confidence. But thank y'all for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.